Hello everyone and welcome to TradePicker. So right now I'm going to talk about the weekly outlook and what has exactly happened in crude oil. So if I switch to the charts for crude oil, um, we can see that after its open higher 2 weeks ago, crude hasn't really found any momentum. It's just sold off. We've seen some moments of sparks every now and then, but it's just failed to hold any sort of momentum to the upside. So, what has happened now? Something very interesting. So, we've seen crude fill the gap almost perfectly, so it's back to where it broke out from. So the entire Saudi crisis has sort of disappeared altogether. We've um, we've seen some interesting price action. If we talk about what happened on Friday, so this is currently the 5-hour chart. If I switch to the hourly chart, we can see crude oil. It sort of sold off to the sub 55 region. Quickly, it climbed back towards the 57 region and we saw it go back to 55.5. So, quite a lot of violent moves in terms of price action in crude. So, what can we expect for the coming week? Let's look at the daily and try to understand. So we've seen two hammer dojis. What is a hammer doji? A hammer doji is simply when there's a long tail and the body is has closed higher. So this is a bullish sign in terms of candlestick formations. So we've seen two hammer dojis form here, but that did not give any kind of continuation higher. So what we saw is we saw a larger hammer doji form on Friday. So this has helped us identify a possible trade. So there is a possibility of a move higher if crude is able to break this region of $57. We've seen some tight resistance in the 56.5 to 57 region, and a break could help it move higher back towards the 59 to 60 region. So that is what I'm going to look at this week. I'm going to look how is crude able to break this entire resistance easily, if it's able to sustain higher. If it is able to do that, then well and good. In terms of weakness, if I switch to the weekly chart, we still see that the weekly has closed quite weak. We do not see any sort of bullish signs in terms of the weekly close. So we'll have to be very careful in terms of taking trades to the long side. Even the trade that I spoke about earlier, we'll have to be cautious with our stops. Crude oil often violently moves a couple of percentage points in either direction within an hour. So it's important to have tight stops in place because a swift move in either direction would just take you out of the game pretty quickly. So that is what I expect. I expect crude to move higher if it's able to break 57 towards the short side. I'm simply going to avoid any trades for now. So all I'm looking at right now is the 57 region, and if we break that, we go long. If it doesn't, then just simply do not do anything. All right, so that was my outlook for crude oil for the week. Please comment down below if you have any suggestions or if you look at this chart differently. If Please let me know what you think could possibly happen with crude oil in this coming week. I'd love to know that. And I'll see everyone next week. Thank you so much for listening to me.